Peter Baker, it's your newspaper's account of this that we first learned about the career prosecutor on this case, removing himself from the Flynn prosecution. But it's also been pointed out to me by a former Justice Department official who served in the Trump-era DOJ that what Judge Sullivan will do is not a foregone conclusion. Judge Sullivan, I think a Bush appointee, has had stewardship of this case and has affirmed that Mike Flynn still believes he's guilty of lying to the FBI as recently as the end of last year.
Well, that's right. Exactly. I'm not a lawyer, but as I understand it, the Justice Department can only move to dismiss this case. It's up to the judge to decide whether, in fact, it has good reason for doing so. And the pleading by the Justice Department does not say that Mike Flynn told the truth. Contrary to what the president said there, in fact, Mike Flynn did, by his own admission, lie. That hasn't changed. What has changed is the Justice Department under Bill Barr is now saying that he should never have been asked the question to which he lied. That there was no basis for asking him, and that the original investigation was flawed in that sense. That would be something Judge Sullivan decides. But you're right about the career prosecutor stepping aside. That reminds us of what happened, of course, with the Roger Stone case just a few months ago, when several career prosecutors stepped aside because of what they thought was politicization of that case on behalf of the president's friend. So we haven't heard yet why this particular career prosecutor stepped aside. He's been attacked pretty robustly by the Flynn defense team, accused of malfeasance. We have not heard his side of that at this point, but we're looking forward to that.
Matt Miller, I've heard from 3 former FBI officials. One of them writes this: the key weasel move today is to say the FBI predicated Flynn's interview on the calls with Kislyak. No, it was about the lies to the vice president about the calls with Kislyak that made us want to interview him. At the end of the day, this was about lies told to an American official, the second most powerful person in the executive branch, the vice president of the United States, about contacts with Russia. We still don't have the answer to who told Mike Flynn to lie to Mike Pence.
No, we still don't know that. And that is exactly the right point, the point that this former FBI official is making. Look, there are 2, I think, serious problems with the action the Department of Justice took today. One is just the miscarriage of justice in this case. Mike Flynn absolutely lied to the FBI. If you look at the facts of the case and look at the fact he's admitted to it twice, once in open court. And 2, it's that Mike Flynn is getting treatment that wouldn't be available to any other person in the country, any other defendant. And when you read through the department's filing, it really is completely misleading. The argument they're trying to make is that Mike Flynn's lies weren't material. When you talk to an FBI agent, if they come in an interview and they start the interview and say, "What'd you have for breakfast this morning?" You say you had eggs and you had cereal. That's not a material lie. It's material if you lie about something that's under investigation. And the argument that they try to make in this filing is that lying about a conversation with the Russian ambassador is not material to an underlying investigation into whether you were a Russian agent, which is the investigation that they still had open into Mike Flynn. It is, I think, breathtaking dishonesty from the Justice Department. And as with the Roger Stone case, it is a sign that if you are a friend of the president, you will get different treatment from Bill Barr. You will get better treatment from Bill Barr than any other American is entitled to. And that ought to worry anyone who cares about the rule of law in this country.
Well, and Jeremy Bash, as if to underscore Matt Miller's point, this is from pages 14 and 15 of today's filing. There is no dispute about what was said. There's no disputing that he lied. And Mike Flynn was described to me by former prosecutors to have confessed to the lie almost immediately once confronted with it. Mike Flynn was, sort of not quickly rushed out of the White House. I think there were 17 days where he stayed there. But Donald Trump remained obsessed with what would come of an investigation into Mike Flynn, that now famous closed-door one-on-one meeting with Jim Comey, where Donald Trump asked him to see to it to let Flynn go. It took a few years, but now he has in his back pocket a little AG who saw to it to let Flynn go. What does that say?
Yeah, and Mike Flynn made his career calling for the political corruption of the criminal justice system. Remember, lock her up? Well, today we've seen the political corruption of the justice system that Mike Flynn has long been calling for. And I wish that this network and the New York Times and others would not lead with the Justice Department dropped charges. The Justice Department had nothing to do with this. This was the White House 100%. President Trump dropped charges against Mike Flynn. Mike Flynn was lying to Mike Pence. He was lying to the FBI to cover up for Donald Trump, for Donald Trump's direction that Mike Flynn should do a secret deal with the Russians to relax sanctions. And notwithstanding the president's comments today at the White House, this was not about the Obama administration. Nice try. It was the Trump administration's own career prosecutors that initially brought charges against Mike Flynn. Not one, but two guilty pleas from him. He was a convicted felon. And now all of a sudden, Donald Trump said, if you don't drop the charges, I'm going to pardon him. And so in effect, the prosecutors had no choice but to exit stage right. And now Mike Flynn will have the guilty pleas exonerated from his record.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.